Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, is now a Best Picture winner with 7 Oscar wins, and today is the day of the Oscars. So it's only truly great to look back at Oppenheimer in 2025, now that the film's almost been out for 2 years, and let's talk about how well it holds up. So, guys, over the past month, I'd say I watched Oppenheimer twice, and every time I watch it, there's so many more things that I love about it and I enjoy about it. Now, the rating that I gave Oppenheimer back in 2023 was a 10 out of 10. That rating of 10 out of 10 stays with that. But basically, what I want to talk about in this video is just sequences, of way things were filmed practically, and just the level of cinematography, score, everything utilized with the writing and the script and the acting. So let's dive into it. A couple of my favorite sequences in the film. So one of my favorite sequences is the American Prometheus sequence, right? And it's basically when Oppie is speaking to Robbie and Robbie says to him, "Take off that ridiculous uniform. You're a scientist, not a soldier." And we see this little montage of him putting his suit back on and being a scientist. I don't know what it is, but the way that it's shot with the music, with the score by Ludwig Göransson, who does a phenomenal composing in this film. But that sequence alone is something that I remember watching in theaters and IMAX, and even like watching now, just so rich and just so motivational and impactful for the story, for it to progress. And it's right as soon as they're 2 months out, I'm finishing Los Alamos, and I don't know, that sequence is just fucking cool. Now, obviously, there's so many cool scenes in this film. The black and white sequences too are really, really cool with Robert Downey Jr.'s character of Strauss. But I really also loved, one of the things I really loved was the two different things with black and white and color. Nolan's got a history of doing this with Memento and telling stories backwards and forwards in time. Basically, in color is past tense, forward is future, and they meet. And he did it exactly the same way as in Oppenheimer as he did in Memento. But one obviously particularly I want to talk about is right when the film opens up and we see Oppie meet Strauss for the first time, and he goes to the pond and sees Einstein there. We see through the perspective of Strauss how something's going on. They had an exchange, Oppie and Einstein, and something he thinks it has something to do about with him. And we see that he carries that thought throughout the whole film until we finally find out what Oppenheimer and Einstein were actually talking about in color, and they kind of meet. And I liked one of the things, that's why I like technically speaking, how they added these sequences together and lined them up perfectly. Once again, was a brilliant thing by Nolan, obviously. But besides that, the Trinity, I remember I talked about this in my review 2 years ago now, of the Trinity sequence and the amount of suspense and thrill that I had before they dropped that, or before they dropped the test of the bomb, obviously, was fucking insane. And I was just like, whoa. Like, I never felt one of these thrill experiences through a film like this before, and it's still to this day, even watching it at home, I like obviously watch on my 4K Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray player, physical media, on a QLED TV. It's still thrilling and it's still exciting. And I don't know if that's because I had a great movie experience in the theater, even though they fucked up the projector that night. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. But going back, and I saw that film. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yes, do I own Oppenheimer? 2 copies? Yes, I do, of course, on physical media. That's the only way to go. But when I was watching this film, like I said recently too, I just realized just acting and how great these actors are in this film, from Killian to Robert to Emily Blunt to Matt Damon to fucking Benny Safdie to Dane DeHaan to Josh Peck being in the film very briefly as well too. All these actors bring their A game to any type of Christopher Nolan movie. We've always heard that story before, that any actor that gets a chance to work with Nolan brings their A game, and you just truly feel the richness of this whole ensemble cast. And it's like, I really fucking like that. You even got Gary Oldman playing Truman in the film too as well. And that's one thing that I want to dive into too, is I love that the whole film wasn't all about building up to the creation of the atomic bomb and dropping the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I love that, and I really like the whole other hour that we get of more of the political side of it, with what Oppenheimer had to face with his security clearance, and seeing what's going on with Strauss, how he is pulling the strings on fucking over Oppenheimer. And one of the things is, I was not really too familiar with the whole Oppenheimer story, so to speak. Like, I knew Oppenheimer created the atomic bomb, and had Los Alamos to create it there and everything like that. But I didn't know all about like his security clearance or anything. So me in the theater watching this film, just seeing all that was like, holy shit, this all actually fucking happened. And you got to admit too, like, the character of Kitty, his wife in the film, is truly a remarkable person, standing by his side through everything, even when he cheated on her, and just standing by his side through thick and thin, and motivating him to succeed in this field of science and creation and stuff like that. And it's baffling to me though, like, if you really think about this film, like how it opens up when he's out of the country. I forgot where exactly he was studying, and you just see the amount of distress. The "can you hear the music" sequence. I'm going to speak about that real quick. All right. So I know that was a little gibberish there, but the can you hear the music is one of the most phenomenal pieces of music I've ever listened to. Besides that, the sequence that it takes place. We see these images in Oppenheimer's head about dreaming about the atomic bomb and about his creation. And you can see the levels of stress, anger, questioning, wondering, curiosity all throughout this whole, and exhaustion. Let's not forget exhaustion. All throughout this little 2-minute sequence, you see it all, and how he discovers what he's going up against. And I just fucking love that. And it's just, like I said, I made back in 2019 a video talking about how movie scores make up a really good portion of the film. Whether it's a film like Oppenheimer, whether it's a film like Interstellar, whether it's a film like Black Panther or the Avengers movies or the Dark Knight films or anything, the score is significant to the film. And if you have a shitty score in a good film, it really can make or break your experience at times too. But like with this film, a great writing, great story, great performances, and great score, cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytma. I think he has been doing most of Nolan's films since Interstellar, I believe. And just his eye for how these sequences look shot and are just fucking, they have this type of realistic slash beautifulness to it. And guys, I know I'm like rambling on about this film. Like, no matter what, guys, I do truly think that Oppenheimer, besides like for me obviously the Dark Knight movies, Oppenheimer is Nolan's best film to date for sure. Hopefully, The Odyssey is even cooler and better, but I do truly think Oppenheimer is this great film that it got all the buzz for, and it truly deserves it. And I just sit back and I think to myself too, like watching it, like I've had to see Oppenheimer over 20 times now. It's crazy. But just watching it, picking up little minute details here and there, just how the explosion looks, the drop looks, every way the rain looks in when it starts to get rainy out in the desert or in Los Alamos, and they're waiting by with Matt Damon and Cillian Murphy, or Oppenheimer and Groves are waiting like fucking until 5 a.m. to drop the bomb, and just that little exchange of dialogue, it just builds that atmosphere and builds that little containment where it's like you're there with these people, you're ready to watch this. And like I said, when I saw this film in theaters on that Thursday night, which probably was July 19th, I got the poster right here. I think it was July 19th, July 20th, something like that. I just go grab my 4K Blu-ray. Yes, I did. Oh, look at that. Look at this. This is 2 years old already. Thursday, July 20th. Okay, so I went Thursday night, July 20th for Oppenheimer. And like I said, I think I saw it then after that Friday, I believe it was. I saw it like back to back. I was like, holy fuck, I have to watch this film. Fuck it. It was just so great. But just practicality. One of the big things we obviously know what Nolan is. He does not like to use CGI. And if he doesn't have to use it, he won't use it. And just the practicality with doing the drop with all like miniatures and like a smaller explosion while also filming in IMAX cameras, guys. Here's my little fucking jerk off to IMAX. I don't care what anybody says. IMAX is always the way to go in my eyes. Ever since The Dark Knight Rises, I've always started to prefer to see all my films in IMAX. And whenever I get a chance, like I got to go see Interstellar for its 10-year anniversary or seeing Dune Part 2, the Academy Award nominee this year. Let's hope it wins. Um, Seeing those films in IMAX truly bring the scope and scale of it, and it's truly a remarkable thing. But to conclude this ramble of Oppenheimer and how it's a great film, which it is, and I hope you guys do agree with me. If not, I get it. It's 3 hours, and I get where people could feel the length of the runtime at times, but I think it's just a great film. I think watching Oppenheimer, the rewatchability to it, I love rewatching it. There's some people out there that are like, it's a really good movie, but it doesn't have great rewatchability. I think it does, and it's got so many cool motivational sequences with a great score, with that tension, with that buildup, with that suspense, with that questioning everything, and obviously leaving. One of the biggest things is with the ending is leaving that ending open for like, did we just destroy the world with having these type of weapons available for the US or for other places like Russia to be able to destroy the world on their own with a push of a button? And that question is truly brought a little bit of a horror aspect to it. But guys, 10 out of 10 always for Oppenheimer. I think it is truly a masterpiece. 2 years later, roughly, and it has not decreased in value, and I don't think it ever will. But guys, have you seen Oppenheimer? Let me know your thoughts below. Do you guys agree that it? We're so happy that Cillian Murphy won Best Actor. I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for it. I'm pretty sure. I hope he did. I don't remember with that one, but we obviously know. I think Ludwig Göransson won for the score, Best Director Nolan, and Best Picture for Oppenheimer. Guys, I hope you guys agree with that, and let's hope Dune 2 wins something tonight. Hopefully. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys real soon.